everyone, Argsy here. Welcome along to another video for Farming Simulator 25. Now, often talked about already so far with FS25 is the new AI workers and the steering assist settings that have come with that. But what's been largely overlooked from things I've seen is the deliver and go to and load and deliver options that are available for AI workers. So for new players, we're going to take a little bit of a look into that. It is a feature that was available in FS22, so not entirely new to Farming Simulator, but certainly something that is incredibly valuable, particularly if you're a PC player and you've been used to using auto drive and course play and those kind of things. This can fill that bill just a little bit. It's not quite as smart as auto drive was, but hopefully we are going to see that for FS25 at some stage. But in the meantime, this is a pretty good way to use that. Now we've taken on a contract here in Riverbend Springs. We've got a spinach contract on field 51. So the first task is to get all the equipment down there. Now normally that would facilitate, if you're going to do it on your own, facilitate coming all the way down here to the store each time, grabbing one bit of equipment, driving it across, then coming back and grabbing the other. Now if you can imagine you had 3 or 4 pieces of equipment to get to a field, that could take quite some time. So just taking a look at where we are, we're at the store here. We need to get across the bridge and up here to field 51. So we're going to get the AI helpers to lend a hand and take the tractor down there and the harvester as well. And we'll meet them down there and get started on the harvesting. So we've jumped up here into the McCormick with the trailer on the back. Now, if we hold down H, which will bring up our AI worker settings for steering assist and AI worker, there's nothing we can do because obviously we've got no field detected to preview. Exit back out of that, and if we just press our helper button, that brings up an option to create a job. Now we've got 3 or 4 different settings in here. Go to, which requires a target position to drive to. We've got an option to deliver, and it gives us a whole lot of targets of where we want to deliver to. We can have that looping. We can tell it where we want to load from. So there's a few different options. Then there's also an option to load and deliver, so where you want to pick up from and where you want to drop off to. So we're going to start off by using the go to option. Now it asks for a target position. Now I've already tested this out just to double check it was going to work, but how do we go and create this? So we want the tractor to drive from the store and get up here to field 51. So we're going to click on target position. I'm going to come up here and it asks us to pick a target location. Now we're just going to pick near the corner of field 51. I don't know if there's a field entry there or not, but we're just going to rely on that point there. Keep it facing that way so the tractor doesn't have to try and maneuver around and do a turn. And we're going to click there, and that's now placed. Now if we come down the bottom here, we've got an option to start job. So if we do that, we're going to jump out. It now says go to driving to target. And if we escape out of there, we can see the tractor is off and heading down to the field. Now it's going to find its way out of the store car park and figure out the best way to get to our destination. So we're going to go and do the same with the harvester and follow them on down to the field. So we're still sitting here. You can see our icon. We're actually still here in the tractor. There is another way to go through and do that. So we can come in here, click on our target, which is our harvester, and we can set a destination for it. Now if we come in here, this is going to do exactly the same as what we've just done. So come in here, pick a target, and pick it where it wants to go to. And we've now got the harvester already on a go to driving target. We didn't have to go through and tell it to start. Now if we zoom out, you can see that worker E is already starting to move. So they should make it down to the field all on their own. But let's jump back out of here. As I said, we're still in the tractor. Let's ride along and get down to the field. So I think this is field 51 we're just coming up to on the left here. It does look like spinach and looks a lot like the field we were heading off to. So we're just going to wait and see what the worker does there. Obviously it's pulling over to basically where we put our target, and there we go. That has gone and completed its task. So just to get it off the road and out of the way, we're going to go and pull ourselves down in here, park on the edge of the field, and we will just take a little bit of a look around. Can't see the harvester coming down there just yet, but it can't be too far away. So we'll go and jump in there. In fact, I can just see it. Yeah, it's just coming through past that building, probably slowing down to go over that bridge. So we should see it come through on the corner in just a few seconds. Alright, and there it is coming around the corner. It had a little bit of a hissy fit, I think, because it's an articulated piece of equipment, but it should now run all the way up here and come and basically park exactly where we had before it gets set up into the field. Of course, we will have to go through and do that. That's not anything you can do now. You can't tell it to go to a field and then start harvesting in it or anything. That'd be fantastic. That's certainly something you could do using a combination of course play and auto drive. But just watch here for a second. It should come along and park basically in about the same spot where the tractor stopped. And there we go, right on target. Right, let's go and jump in there and we will set the worker up and get them going here in the field. So let's get things set up here. I will run through how to do this. We're not going to go into a huge amount of depth and detail into how to use the AI workers in the fields. You can go and check out the Farm Sim Guy's video. We've put that up there in the corner. He's done a pretty good job on that. You see, keep on getting some traffic blocked behind us. We'll just move forward there to let them go past. But once again, we'll hold down H, bring up our menu, and we've got our settings there for AI worker or steering assist. Now we're going to use our AI worker. The working width for the head has been detected. Of course, you can go through and manually adjust that if you'd like. The equipment is suggesting 5 headland passes, so you can see 5 laps around the field. We're down here right at the minute. This is the track where the tractor's parked. We want to do the headlands first, yes, because we want to open the field up and be able to get into the centre rows. And we're going to start on the headlands as well, and we're not going to do any skip lines. I've had some limited success with how skip lines work, so we're not going to worry about those. So basically everything's good. Come in there, press OK, press H to get our worker set up and going. They're going to unfold the harvester, get that hopper up there. Phew, side swiped by a postal service van. They're going to go in and set themselves up in the right position and get ready to go. Now, are they going to run the wrong way around the field for us? Does look like that's a possibility. It is. That's something I haven't managed to work out yet, whether you can try and get them to run the right way around the field so that they're not facing inwards. Once we're on the up and down roads, that's obviously not going to be an issue, but for now they are going to be filling up on the wrong side. So we're just going to let them get a full hopper so we can then unload, and then we'll take a look at how to run a delivery from here to whatever sell point this contract was necessary to go to, and then we can have a look at some of the other options as well with the load and deliver options. Right, well the worker's 99% full, so we'll make that do. That should be enough to go and get a load delivered. So let's just go and get this unloaded. Lock either side of the trailer. Pulls that there. I think we press O. Pop that up there and overload this into the back of the hopper. Now, I was thinking as this was going around when this could be useful. Now, if you were working in a high yielding crop, you might have a truck on the side of the field. You might be running an auger wagon that you're driving while the helper runs the combine. So something like corn, you might want to be able to have the crop being delivered, so when you're on the field you can actually keep things moving. That was one example. We've used it, the Farm Sim Guy and I actually used it when we were doing sugar beets. So we had one of us harvesting the sugar beets, the other was running a sugar beet wagon, and then we had the truck carting those away, because again, high yielding crops, so it was very helpful to have that sort of extra hand, for want of a better description. Now let's just pull back up here, see if we can get this worker back underway. Doesn't matter too much from our point of view whether they go in the right spot, because we're going to go and follow along with this tractor and see about getting it delivered. So to set up the delivery loop, we're going to first check exactly where this contract needs to get delivered to. So taking a look there, we're heading to the farmer's market, which is actually not too far away. So let's go back in here. Same tactic as before, we're just going to press H. This is going to come up and give us the same options again. Now we want to deliver. We want to find the farmer's market, should be alphabetical order. There it is under F. We want our loading position, basically where we are. You can see there is already a target next to where we are, so it's already grabbed our coordinates, and we want this on looping. So basically what looping means is that this will run, deliver, and then come back and run it again once it is full. So I'm just going to press Z there, and we're going to jump out and see what happens. So you can see there, tractor's automatically figuring out where it needs to go. So it's going to do a loop on the field, avoid the crop. It's going to go and find a way out, whether it goes back up on the edge here or finds a field exit. I'm not too sure. We'll just follow along and see what happens. But let's go for a little bit of a ride. So just driven straight out of the field, and it's figured out that the best way to go is to head to the left, which makes sense. That's which way I would have gone as well. You can see our worker has carried on in there doing the harvesting. So let's ride along, get down to the farmer's market, and then we'll see what happens. Right, so here we are. This is the farmer's market sell point in here on our left. So you can see the dump trigger right there in front of us. And you can see that the tractor has found its way in there. It's going to drive over there, and all going to plan. We'll dump this load out and contribute to getting this contract completed. Pulling up there into position. Hopefully going to take the trigger, and there we go. As it started the unload process to get that spinach dumped into there, and you should be able to see our contract will progressively go up as we get more of this dumped off. Once it's finished, it should loop its way back and go and find a spot to park up on the field. So good having one that was pretty close, or reasonably close at least. It didn't have too far to go, but it's the trailer reset, and it's going to head off and find a way back out of where we are. So one thing to bear in mind is the type of trailer you use. This one's actually quite good because it does have a rear steering assist on the back axle, so it doesn't turn too tightly. Others, you just have to be mindful that they might cut the corner a little bit, and if they do that, there's the chance that they will get caught up on fences and things like that. Running one of the big B-train trucks with the twin trailers might not be the best option, but this is working out pretty well for us. So let's get on back down to the field, and we'll just have a look and see back where it parks up. But all going to plan, it should be facing exactly the same way it was when we left the field. So here we are back where we started, and as we hoped, the tractor's gonna turn down into the field, overshot just a little bit. It's running over the neighbour's crop, which is not ideal, but if we turn in here, it's going to end up, as you can see from the wheel tracks in front of us, ended up pretty much exactly where it was previously. So there we go. That's worked out very well. Now the other thing to have a look at, if we look in the cab, that is certainly not my character sitting in there, so the worker has remained hired and will be looping. So if we were to go and dump another load into the back of this, once the spinach harvest is a little bit further through, then it should take off and go and deliver again. So it's a good way to deliver your crops. Now we're not going to bother about looking at that any further, but I do want to go and take a quick look at the load and deliver option that is in there as well. So the last part of the delivery options that you can use with the AI workers is load and deliver. So we've gone and picked ourselves up one of the small lizard trucks here just for simplicity's sake. Now if we just have a look in our inventory, so taking a look down here, we've got 80,800 litres of wheat sitting in our silos, and we want to go and sell it. Now we're just going to have a quick look here. Best sell price at the moment is actually at Goldcrest Valley on the train. Now we're not going to do that, although I could demonstrate it. We do have a video on how to use the train, but I'm just looking at what might be closest. The grain mill and the grain river silo are pretty close to our farmyard, so just jump here into the map. Our farmyard silo is up here. There's our silo, that's its name, and we're just going to have a look. What's that sell point? Grain barge terminal 2, was that an option to sell at? Grain barge terminal 2, that might actually be our closest point to deliver to from the farm, so we'll use that. It's a reasonably short drive, and we can follow along and maybe loop it a couple of times. So jumping back in here, once again press H to bring up our create job options for this vehicle. Now as I said, we want to load and deliver, so it gives us some options here for what loading station. Now there's a few different places. We're going to go through here and find silo. Now this is kind of why with placing down placeables, you can name them, give them a unique name in there, so that becomes identifiable. It automatically detects what's in your silo. We only have wheat, so it had already shown that. And now it gives you the unloading station options. Now we're just going to go through this and find grain barge terminal 2. And now that flashes, so you can see there our 2 points are flashing on the map. Green for loading, and it's got a red on it for pickup. Oh, sorry, for where it is being delivered to. Looping or no looping, we want it looping because we know that the capacity on this truck will not take 80,000 litres in one trip. So let's press start job there. Now we're going to exit out of here and follow along with this little fella and see where he ends up. Alright, we're just turning into the farmyard here, and we should see, just here on the left, is the farm silo. So, all going to plan, the truck's going to drive in underneath the silo. Looks like it wants to load from the other direction. Now this is probably how the silo's modelled. There might be a node on there which determines which way it wants to enter from, but that's alright, it's going to find its own way to turn around, get there underneath, and it's not going to stop and load up. Why did it not do that? Let's see if it does another loop and tries to load up this time. Alright, we've just changed over here to the tractor and trailer you get on new farmer mode on the map. The truck just kept on going round and round in circles and wouldn't detect the trigger there to fill, just as this one has. I'm not sure what the cause of that was, but we've got it working here with the tractor and trailer. Now, we're going to complain about the truck being parked in the way. We're just going to jump in and move that completely so it's not going to cause any issues. There we go. Just going to have a look. They should be able to carry on moving now. Alright, we had to stop it and restart it. It seemed to be caught up there with the truck and wouldn't go again, but we've done that, and hopefully now things are going to work out. Not as smooth and buttery as the other two options we've demonstrated have been, but we're on the road and we're heading off now to try and get this load delivered, and then we'll see if we can get back down here and get unloaded or filled up again for another load. Right, here we are down at the sell point, and the tractor's now going to drive in over here, the trigger, over top of the trigger, and fingers crossed we're going to see the wheat getting delivered as we did with spinach. So that's looking much better. Alright, so that is a load and deliver from the silo. Like I said, it wasn't smooth, it wasn't as buttery as I was hoping it could be, but it would save you a lot of time in the long run if you're not having to do all that driving. So we'll wait and see if this can find its way back to the farm and do another load, and then we'll call it a success. And there we are, back here at the farm, and looks like we're going to get across there and get loaded up. Let's just see, tractor's figuring out where it needs to go, and there we go. We've managed to get back from the sell point, get loaded up, and head on out for another delivery. So that is a load and deliver. A little bit of fine tuning, a little bit of playing around, just making sure you don't have any obstructions or anything like that that could block your worker. Of course, you don't know which path they're going to be taking anyhow, so it can be a little bit of a lottery there, but this would save a lot of time in the long run, particularly if you could just leave a worker doing this sort of task. And it could be anything. It could be picking up digestate from the BGA. If you were using the BGA and wanted some digestate to spread on your field, you could probably use it. I haven't tested it, but you could probably use it to set up the watering on greenhouses. That may be something as well that you could look at. You'd probably deliver bales back to the farm. Just a handy little thing to do. Now, I don't know why that came out and turned that way, but it's figuring out it's gone the wrong way and it's doing a U-turn. So as long as you weren't sitting in here following along with their driving behaviour, probably not going to bother you too much. But anyhow, there is a look into how to use the AI driver options for going to delivery and load and deliver in Farming Simulator 25. Particularly helpful in the absence of any auto drive or course play at the moment for PC players, and of course for console players who can't access those mods. It is a helpful tool to understand and be able to use. So there you go. Load and deliver, delivery and go to using AI workers in Farming Simulator 25. Now, as always, I hope you found that video useful and informative. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.